If you gotta do what you gotta do and you gotta survive the Horde Night, this seems like a pretty good way to do it. G'day guys, my name's Josh. You can call me Jar Woodle, and welcome back once again to 7 Days to Die in the brand new Alpha 18 update, where I am back in Jawoodle Park 2, ready to try and take on some more zombie pathing and testing to try and find out what we've got in our arsenal, what arrows we have in the quiver to try and make ourselves a good, effective zombie Horde Night base. There's also ideas floating around. I've already tested a couple of them already, but there's a couple I have in my mind that I want to test out firsthand just to see if it works the way it does in my head, or if whatever I'm coming up with is just a crackpot theory and it's not going to work at all. But as always in Jawoodle Park 2, before anything happens, we have to go into the Hall of Legends, which now has a white sign on it instead of a black sign because it stands out a little bit better. It's a shame, like purple and black is the theme of the channel, but the black writing was just kind of blending into the background too much, so I changed it to white to make it a little bit easier to see. And today's 3 Patreons that are going up on the wall is Matt V, Sarah Jane M, and David C. So thank you guys for all the support you have given me. Some of you on the wall here have been here a long time, some of you have not. Doesn't matter how long you've been a Patreon for, all that matters is you are one of the legends, and therefore you go in the Hall of Legends. So I have some ideas that I want to test out with the killing corridor. I've cleared out a bit of a space over here. This one, I mean, look, I could just like break these blocks here and test the theory, but this is my monument to the killing corridor. This is the one that stands proud as the remnants of everything that was good and awesome and safe and reliable in Alpha 17. So that was going to stay there. I'm going to build another one, just kind of a basic one, probably without the walls and stuff, just to kind of test the pathing, because we're not testing the entire killing corridor. We're just testing that 1/8, well, what I would call a 1/8 block drop. Just going to kind of test that mechanism of stopping the zombies getting to. If we can get that to work, we already have a couple of ways that work, but I want to try and find some more. The Fun Pimps laid down the challenge, so I'm picking it up and I'm fucking killing it. Nothing too crazy, I don't think. I'm going to build this one out of just like plaster drywall texture, so not like the normal bricks that I use. I do like that texture a whole lot, but as you can tell, I use it quite often, so I'm trying to like steer away from that. Not that many like cool and fun textures to choose from, but whatever I can find, I'm going to use. Let's put another support column there, all the way up to the top. It is going to be the same height, because I feel like the height difference will affect their pathing as well. So I'm trying to get it to be as an accurate reproduction as possible. It just doesn't need to be as long as it might be normally otherwise. So let's just go to like there and just put them up like that. In fact, I might have made this... I might have made that almost, oh, it's a little bit shorter. It's almost exactly the same length as the normal killing corridor. All right, bang you in there, put some steps up the front, and that's all that really is to it. The killing corridor, the part of the appeal of it is that it's just such a simple design. You don't have to think about it, you know? You can knock it up in 1 day or 2 days if you're unlucky, you don't have the resources. Doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't take a lot of brain power, which is good for people like me with very little to spare, but you can get it done very, very quickly. Bang you down there as well, and we're gonna need an extra one. All right, always remember to use actual stairs as well. Zombies don't like ramps. Well, I mean, you know what? Let's test that theory as well. Why not? I've got the ramps here. Let's put some ramps on. Maybe their pathing works with ramps a little better than it did in Alpha 17. Because in 17, they used to freak out when they came to ramps, and they would break their way through it. So let's just test that one as well, because why not? We're on an adventure of knowledge here, so let's gain some extra. So the drop that I use pretty extensively, especially in Ravenhurst, is... Oh, I just realized that I totally chose, like, the same texture as concrete for that. I can barely even tell the difference. Oh, actually... Nah, it's a little bit different. Concrete's a little bit smoother. Okay, play on. We're fine. Yeah, the one I used for Ravenhurst a lot, and to some extent some of the other ones, was the one with the steep corner blocks, because they're easier to place down than the 1/8 blocks. There's less like advanced rotations. It's just all on the same plane. Just a couple of clicks. Less clicks means less work, and you can get that going. That was the pinnacle of the killing corridor before. And I tried this before, but the zombies picked the line straight across the middle there, and could just kind of hop, skip, and jump straight across and get to me. But that has kind of got me thinking, and it's got a lot of other people thinking as well, because I kind of had this idea at the time, but I've seen some other people suggest it as well. So, I mean, I can't really take full credit for this, I suppose, because this idea happened simultaneously across a lot of people, with me included. So the idea is, if you can push them away from their desired path along there, they still clearly see the steep corners as a viable option. So they should still see this entire block as pathable ground. But if you take away the actual ground, what are they going to stand on? So, the idea is that you get some, no, that's the wrong one. We get some wedge tips, you will do, take some of those, and we'll also get some 1/2 blocks, grab those ones as well, and what you do is you jump over to the other side over here, and you get them to, you push them into the middle, you funnel them in. That's probably a good name for the killing corridor. This will be the funnel corridor, because why not? In fact, I can't really use that, because a lot of these ideas are going to be funnel corridors in one way or another, but that's kind of the idea. You funnel them in to a part where they can't actually run around on it. So let's get, like that for example, put that one there, we'll go too high, just like before. Now, I know I did try this a little bit before in the last killing corridor episode when I was trying some other stuff, but the difference here is going to be that you get the half blocks and you follow it all the way along, like that. So you have this nice, like, corridor on the corridor to actually put them in the middle and keep them, because as soon as they're there, look, there's nothing here for them to stand on. They can't get their feet on, so they can't get across. That's the idea. I'm going to build it properly and see if it works. If it does work, then that is yet another design that is breaking the Fun Pimps AI. You shouldn't have challenged me, guys. You laid down the challenge, and I took to it like a duck to water. It's completely unnecessary, but just because I'm a fan of having everything being aesthetically pleasing, if I have a line that I can follow, then I'm going to build that out and get it to be, oh, that's the wrong one, okay, get it to be as aesthetic as possible. Look, the backside's a little bit ugly, but that's okay. In fact, I'm going to fix that up just by going like this and going on face and just like going like that, getting some nice edges on there. I mean, I know this is just a tester, but I mean, it kind of looks like, it almost looks like one of the loot bases I built in the OG Jawoodle Park, the thing that looked like a giant like railgun or a spaceship. I quite like that one, but the important thing here is that that actual mechanism there, I think, is in a position or whatchamacallit, a layout that's actually going to work. God, I'm struggling for words already. It's too early for Josh. Let's get some cheerleaders, get some ferals, get 25 of them. That's probably a bit much, but that should be okay. What are we going to... In fact, I don't really need a gun, do I? I'll give myself the dev pistol just because it's got infinite ammo, which makes my life just that little bit easier. Alright, let's put my body down here. Let's pop out of my body, get their attention. There we go. Alright, what's going to happen? Where are they going to go? They've already come up. I mean, look. See, they're having issues with the ramps again. I don't quite like it. But so far, it's looking pretty good. See, they hit that little nubbin and they get pushed into the middle. Oh, and then one gets up on the top. That's not happening. Gonna have to put a roof or something on it. Oh, and they are taken to the pillars quite a lot as well. So that's something that I don't think I can really help very much. Ow! Ow! Stop getting across. If I had the roof on there, it'd be fine. Okay, you guys need to stop that. You just need to chill out and stop beating me up. But they're definitely going into destroy everything mode a lot more than they used to. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to counter that as effectively as I did in Alpha 17. I mean, they put that in specifically to counter these kinds of designs. So it's going to have to take something a little bit crafty and probably a little bit cheesy, but who doesn't love a bit of Parmesan, to get that to work properly. There's an awful lot of Chelseas. But if you've got, I mean, I always say you need to reinforce and strengthen your pillars. So if you do that, you're going pretty well actively fighting against the Horde, you should be okay. In fact, let's just get rid of all of these. No, that's the wrong code. There we go. Let's get 2 of those. Clear all the zombies out of the way. I mean, the best thing about this is going to be penetration. Yeah? I mean, if all the zombies are in one line, then it's going to be far, far easier to, like, take full advantage of that penetration perk with a marksman rifle or something, which means the hunting rifle, especially, which was kind of useless in Alpha 17, I feel like the hunting rifle is going to come into its own with this. So I might even, let's go back into my body over here. Let's quickly fly up. I'm going to get rid of these blocks here and just extend this out a lot further, because there's no more barbed wire anymore, so there's no point. Like, this area here is just there for to give you a chance to kill them before they fall through the slot. So maybe if I extend this all the way down, then I can sit here with a rifle, fire 1 round through up to 7 zombies, and that might be the best way to do it. Like, taking full advantage of the penetrator perk might be the way that this works best. There we go. So I've just moved like the whole thing down a lot further. So as soon as they come up this ramp, they're going to get pushed into the center. That's a bit of a choke point, which might take some rethinking. Choke points are very rarely good, but I mean, it's kind of just like the first iteration, the first rough draft of what this design might end up being. So let's get rid of you. Let's grab my, as I prepared earlier, my marks rifle. It's like a TV show, you know, like a cooking show when they put in the ingredients in a pot, then they put it under the bench, then they bring it up and it's all fully baked and perfect and stuff. This is now fully baked. I have my fully baked rifle with my penetrating ammo as well. This will be interesting. This will be interesting to see how these guys actually react to that. I might even, while I'm here as well, quickly just run down here and put on a bit of a roof. Not much of a roof, just a way to stop them jumping up on the top. Doesn't have to be too much. Just something like that ought to do it, just to keep them grounded, keep them down at the very start of this. Damn it, that was the wrong, I've changed block. God damn it, like, bloody scroll wheel's too sensitive for me. Let's get a conga line of Chelsea's going, there they go, and let's get their attention like that. Okay, turn off my HUD and turn on their AI. Only half of them heard me though. All right, there we go, that's a little bit better. So how are you guys gonna react to this one? Are you gonna like just funnel in? Looks right so far. Those bloody ramps are still giving me issues. I really wish it'd go a little bit better, but they also be funneling in just fine. So if I'm down here, look, they're all just in a nice line for me. So go like that and just fly straight through the crowd. That's gonna work perfectly. That's such a better idea, or such a better use of this than, like, you know, having a bow there and picking them off one at a time. This is absolutely going to be a much better design if you're using a marksman rifle or a hunting rifle. Because even, you know, let's just prove the point. Even if you just get a bulk stock standard hunting rifle and just load that up with armor-piercing rounds, will be the best option. But normal 7.62s will still go through up to 5 with a decent penetrator perk. But look at that. You can do enough damage to the zombies coming in. You can kind of hold it down. You just need to wait for your shot. Wait till they get close. Oh, that one can just go through. Wait till they get close and then put one through them all. If you're waiting, I mean, like paint that area red or something. As soon as they get to the red area, when they get to the red zone, right as about to cross for a touchdown, you need to make a big play. You need to make the sack, and that involves shooting a bunch of Jeffries in the face all at once. I was too busy shooting them all to really pay attention to what was happening on the pillars down the bottom. But the important thing there is that the zombies get a buff when they're in a big group. They get a damage to blocks buff. As we discovered in the episode 1 of my playthrough, one zombie beating on something doesn't really do much. You don't have to worry about one zombie. It's only when there's a whole crew of them that you need to start worrying about it. So if you can sit up there with the penetrator perk and rail them as they come through, then you really don't have much to worry about, because they're not going to do that much damage to you. Here we go, get your attention. They're not going to do that much damage to the pillars if you can, like, you know, thin the herd as they're coming down. There we go, wait for that. And look at that. One round gives you plenty of time to reload the hunting rifle. There's a whole group of them behind again. That's so much better. And then, like, not only that, the ones that don't die lie on the ground and actually block the zombies coming up behind, so you get an even better little group. That's really good. I mean, of course you could, like, bust out the Molotovs at a point like this when we're all nice and grouped up down there, but, like, changing weapons and stuff is a liability. If you click the wrong thing or you do the wrong thing or you leave something unreloaded, you're gonna have some issues. But, like, you could just sit here like this all day, every day. She's got no arms. I mean, does she even pose a threat anymore if she's got no arms? I'll let her live. Her life's hard enough already. She's gonna have bigger issues in life, like eating pasta, getting shot in the face by me. Doesn't need to deal with that too. So there's only one left, and she has actually done a little bit of damage to the pillar. I mean, I guess over the journey, all of them fell down there, probably took a swing or two. So they seem to stay there for like roughly 30 seconds before they decide that they want to go off a different way. But the important thing there is that the funnel idea works. You can funnel them away from their preferred path over those blocks and you know, make them fall down properly. So you're still pretty safe up here. I mean, sure, there's only one block holding me up there, but that's not a lot of security. But if you, like, make that nice and reinforced, so you have something like the base I made in the original Hardcore Survival, where you've got the killing corridor as an entryway into an actual complex, then you should be pretty safe, actually. I mean, this, you could build off of this. You could definitely use that. So that idea works. You can still use the steep blocks, which is good, because I quite like them. But there's other ideas I want to test too, but it's nice to know that a lot of the old ideas still carry over. You just need to tinker it a little bit. Moving on to the next one I want to test, and you'll see why I was hesitant to call the first one the funnel corridor, because this one essentially is a funnel as well. Although I suppose it's more of a, I don't know what you call it. Would you call it a chute, I suppose? I guess it's more of a chute. That's going the wrong way. Let's go over here and go like that, and then copy rotation. I'm going to just destroy that one in a second, just getting it there to get the right rotation quickly. There we go. So yeah, it's just using wedge tips, because they have the same profile as the steep top corner pieces, but it's a little bit nice, a bit more symmetrical. Looks a little bit more like an actual building design, as opposed to the steep corners that had gaps and stuff, that had physics breaking blocks that were just hanging in midair. This one is all connected. The physics works here. Well, I'm just not sure if this one's gonna work. I want to test it to see how it goes. but I'm not confident, you know? I mean, look, they've got a solid path all the way across. The only hope here is the fact that they're not coming across and hitting a wedge, which is kind of popping them up so they can kind of get across. Hopefully, just like the picture plant that I talk about quite regularly with these kind of things, this is too slippery for them to actually stand on, and because they don't have that kind of edge that they're running into and getting some traction, hopefully they'll just fall down the middle. That's the idea. That's like the theory behind it. It's probably not going to work out anywhere near as well as what it does in my head, but we won't know until we give it a crack. So I can just stay there. Let's get a whole bunch of Chelseas again. That was only one. Let's go with 26 then. 26 works for me. Put myself up here, get their attention. All right, how are they gonna go this time? I need to destroy those ramps standing out. It's making a bottleneck. Ah, look at that! It totally works. I was not expecting it to work that well. That's so good. So they can't get any traction on it. It's too slippery dippery, and it is going down like a soapy tarp in summer with a hose on it. That's really good. That's so much better than I was expecting it to be. And not only are they falling through really well, they're also not going into destroy everything mode anywhere near as much as I kind of thought they would. I mean, with the steep corner blocks that were falling down and going into destroy everything mode and then beating on the pillar that I'm standing on top of, with this one, the clear majority are just turning and running and going back to the start again. Only a couple are deciding they want to beat on shit. That's really good. That might take over as the new killing corridor. This might be the Alpha 18 killing corridor, because look how reliably that's working. I'm not doing anything. I'm not shooting. I'm not killing. I'm not doing anything. They're not destroying the base, and it is falling through easy as you like. I do kind of miss having the barbed wire to slow them down to get a better chance of killing them. But if you gotta do what you gotta do and you gotta survive the Horde night, this seems like a pretty good way to do it. I was fully prepared with that to have to make like another kind of funnel, because I was thinking, look, they're probably, you know, even though it's got the same smaller profile, we're still exploiting like the smaller profile of the block, so the zombies think that that block is a viable path, but then the actual physical block itself doesn't allow it. I was thinking, I'll probably have to put another like little funnel in the end and push them into the middle. That was kind of just supposed to be the first test in a couple to figure out what the best route was going to be for this, but it worked so well the first time, I'm not even sure that I'm gonna have to do that. I mean, why would you add anything extra? And extra points that you add, this is why the killing corridor is so good. If you add extra stuff, more moving parts is extra liability. More ways for things can go wrong if you keep adding to it. If you keep it simple, then it's gonna work more reliably more of the time. Very, very interesting. Okay, well, that's kind of dumbfounded me a little bit. So what I'm kind of thinking now is, I mean, there's no reason to keep the killing corridor too wide, you know? So the killing corridor is only too wide because then you could have the barbed wires on the sides down the corridor part, so you could shoot the zombies and like do as much damage as you can before they got to the drop and went around and started again. The drop was only there to keep you safe. The whole aim of that was to kill as many zombies as you could in the run-up in this area here before they actually got to the drop part and went down and started again. But now we don't have barbed wire anymore. I mean, I can't find any barbed wire in here. There's the normal one, there's barbed wire fence, but there isn't the traditional barbed wire like this one. There's none of this anymore. They've taken it out for some reason, or maybe you could buy it. I'm not sure. I haven't gone through the actual playthrough of the game enough to know if you could actually get that, or if it's an upgrade. Is there something in here? Uh-oh, I broke the game. I pressed a button or something, and now it's giving me object reference not set to instance. Oh, no, okay, we're back. Okay, thank God. Right, so what do I need again? I needed to go into my... Yeah, it just doesn't like it. Just doesn't like it at all, does it? Not sure what the problem was there. The game was freaking out a little bit, but I searched all of the categories for the skills you unlock, and there isn't a barbed wire. So there isn't the traditional barbed wire that you can get and put out there, which means there's no reason for the killing corridor to be only too wide. So let's experiment with that a little bit. Let's get rid of that. Let's build out a little bit further. Let's make this 3 wide. Let's make it a little bit chunkier. Let's make this a thick with like 4 C's killing corridor and see what we can do, because then we can use that funnel idea and push them right into the middle, because then instead of, I mean, it was kind of working before with the actual funnel where the zombies were taking up effectively one spot, but they were running on the sides of that one spot, so you couldn't line up all the shots at once. But if you make it 3 wide and make the same kind of idea, maybe you can get all the zombies to run down the center, which means you lined up Marksman Rifle with the maxed out penetrator perk and has the potential to kill as many zombies as possible without any real issues. I reckon that like the shoot corridor is gonna be the best one for it. I mean that's gonna be until they patch it out, because they probably will. They'll probably see this and go, oh, hang on, we didn't fix the pathing for the wedge tips. We have to fix that. So that will probably go away at some point. But until then, that seems like the best option. I just want to see what other variants we can come up with that might also work a little bit better than expected. While I'm here, I'm getting rid of these stupid ramps. Boy, it looks really chunky when it spreads out just one extra block, doesn't it? Before it looks all nice and sleek and easy, you know, very easy to maintain. It looks nice and like clean, but as soon as you bring it out one extra one, it is chunky as anything. But that's alright, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Who doesn't love a little bit of chunk in their life? Some things need to be fat and thick and bouncy, and this looks like a big fat bouncy thick corridor. Okay, let's go. I've got some stairs down here as well, so looking all nice and good to go. So what I'm going to try and do is try and do this again, where you get the half blocks kind of on their sides like that, and bring it all the way down there, because I'm hoping that will like encourage the zombies not to kind of get backed up like they did before at the start of the funnel, not to have that kind of traffic jam with zombies at the beginning. So if they don't get all backed up there, then hopefully they will come down a little bit faster, a little bit smoother without the risk of damage, but there'll also be a much larger line for me to shoot through with the marksman rifles. Let's get this one done. I'll go too high and put a roof on it again as last time, something jumping up the top. But that should be all there is to it. At least I'm hoping that's all there is to it. If there's more to it, then I'm going to have to figure it out. But I don't know. This is the first step in my theory. That should just about do it. So I've got half blocks on either side, some bars on the roof to stop them jumping up onto the top. But so the idea is they'll come up here, they'll kind of hit here, and instead of trying to run down the half block there, they'll hopefully all come and stand right in the center and be all lined up, ready to go to cop a penetrating round right in the noggin, right through the face and several faces back, all the way down, just exploding them like a fruit stall explodes melons. I'm hoping that works. I'm really hoping that works. Let's just get back over here, over to that. The other benefit about this as well is that it's much easier for you as the player to get across. There's no more having to like take risky jumps and stuff like that if the zombies are all coming for you, unless you cook it like that. But you can get through much easier because it's all solid ground between you and the corridor part. So let's give myself a couple of targets. Let's go Chelsea, if you wouldn't mind. Come back out here. There we go. Put myself in position. Fire the gun. Get their attention. All right, how are they going to go? How are they going to take it? Exactly how I thought it was gonna happen. Exactly how I thought it was gonna work. I love it when I predict something and it comes true. You never quite know. Your hypothesis is very rarely right. When they get to the front, they pick a side and they fall down, and there's no issues at all. I mean, they're getting kind of stuck there. Let's just stop that, guys. Stop it. Stop breaking my shit. Interesting. I need to figure out why they're stopping there and breaking some stuff. Maybe I need to give them some love and just like get those ones out of the way, make their path a little easier for them. Is that what you guys wanted? I'm so happy. I can't believe that worked just that perfect. That went straight down the guts, straight down the middle. So you look, you wait for a line, boom. Like 4 zombies in a row, lines of 7. Everyone get in line. Literally, bitches take a number because they're about to cop around. What's happened to her? Okay, everyone stop for a second. You are, oh boy. Wow, I mean, I was having a good time murdering all your friends, but I feel like you got the worst end of that stick. You definitely got the hardest deal out of everyone else. Not only did you get shot in the face with a penetrating 7.62 round, you then got lynched. You got hung, almost corded, and shot in the face. Were you a witch or something? Or witches get burned alive? You must have been a traitor or committed regicide or something, because you definitely got shafted there. Feel a little bit bad about that one. It's one thing to murder a bunch of zombies. It's another thing to make them suffer just that little bit more, unnecessarily. So one thing I didn't really test there was what they were doing down the bottom. On the too wide shoot corridor, they were fine. They went straight down, turned around, and went back the other way. There was no real issues, but I was too busy having too much fun murdering all the Chelseas, and I forgot to actually look at what they did on the other side. So let's go down here, let's stand right in the middle, fire up in the air a little bit, pop out my body, and just see how we go. Look at that. They deal with the stairs so much better. If you build like this little pyramid thing, they do a lot better again. But like, that's gonna do for now. So what's actually going on here? They're falling, they're taking a couple of swings. Yeah, look at it. They're not. Their AI is free going into destroy everything mode more now than they were before. So it's kind of like a trade-off. I mean, what about if we go the chutes, the funnel corridor into the chute corridor? I mean, it's making it all very constricted, which I'm not a massive fan of, which worries me a little bit. But, I mean, you're going to get the best options out of them not going into destroy everything mode when they fall down, and you're also going to get them all lined up so you can get all the glorious headshots in the world. Like, straight down there. Boom. Just like that. I mean, this is something that I want to preserve, having one spot to aim for to get the maximum amount of damage. I mean, 7.62s with the UL for 18 and brass being much more abundant than it used to be, like, you're able to make a lot more 7.62. So bang for your buck wise, bang for your bullet. Oh god, I've lynched a couple more Chelseas. I lynched one by a leg as well. It's like a butcher's. It's like a meat rack of Chelsea's down there. Oh my god, I'm gonna be selling Chelsea by the pound soon. But yeah, so like, this is the best bang for your brass buck that you can get. So I want to try and make sure I'm maximizing this. I'm hoping this will be a relatively simple fix by just flipping the orientation of the chute itself. So instead of it being funneled in like that, I want to funnel it out like that. So hopefully zombies see it as a better option down the middle, and it puts their AI back to how it was when it was only 2 wide. At least that's the hope, that's the dream. It is still a 3 wide corridor because I still want that centralized column of Chelsea's running up, but hopefully that sorts out their AI a little bit better. So let's get another 25 of her. There we go. Sit back over here, get her attention. All right, I'm sitting here. I've got another 80 rounds. Yep, straight down the guts again. What happens at the end? Yep, over and out. Easy does it. And then we're going to pop out of my body. Oh, they didn't stop to swing. Right, they're taking a couple of swings. That's all right. Turning around and running. Oh, we're like in the middle. There's still more running back than there was when it was the 3 wide before this. The try before this definitely had this many zombies running back straight away. But I feel like there's still more hitting the columns than there was a second ago. I think this might be the best kind of middle of the road. It depends on what kind of strategy you want to go with. If you want to have like nothing but sheer firepower, like, you know, and you want to take it, you know, active defense, you want to sit up there with your 7.62s and just knock off a bunch of Chelseas as much as possible. I love that. That's the only reason I want to have bars down there, just to get Chelsea's strung up like a meat market. But if you want to sit here and go active defense and kill as many zombies as you can, then this would be fine. But if you want to go and, like, you know, guarantee that your base will last a little bit longer than it would have otherwise, then probably go with the 2 wide one. But the important thing as well, they're not damaging any of the... Oh, there's a little bit of damage to the ramps there. I thought they weren't doing any damage to the ramps, but it's not enough of it to worry me. Before, there was always that weak point. There was that 1/8 block at the front that copped the most amount of damage. This one is definitely not getting as damaged as those ones used to. So I'm pretty okay with that. I still think my favorite is the 2 wide chute corridor, where like, they kind of all run at the middle anyway, but then they fall through and there's less damage to the pylon. But it depends on how you're playing, depends what kind of base you have. And there's no reason you can't have 2 of these. Have a different Horde Knights. For example, if you're going to be coming up against, say, oh, I don't know, a whole bunch of Explodey Jeffreys, which demolition, if I go boom, that's an awful lot of demo zombies. If we're going up against a bunch of those, you're gonna have a bad time. Let's turn to night so that we can get them moving a little bit faster. There we go. Because I want to know, what if I go like this? I put one into your chest all the way down. I mean, are you guys destroying everything? It doesn't really matter to me, I suppose, because oh, look, you're not gonna get close enough to actually hurt me with your explosions. I can't. Now that I'm actually trying to hit their spots, I can't hit their spots. Come on, run. There we go. I hit someone's. There's a lot from down there. Just aim for like their nipples, and eventually someone in the conga line of death and explosions will get hit. Straight down. There we go. Those guys are doing an awful lot of damage to the corridor as well. So like when those, this is where the penetration perk is gonna have its limitation. When you start coming up against demolishers, you're gonna have to start like actually focusing on hitting them in the head and not just firing willy-nilly down the guts. Because if you start doing that, you're gonna start exploding. Oh, there's a random Jeffrey out there. You're gonna start exploding all of your hard-built defenses, and it's not gonna go well for you. So you really need to be careful with that penetrator perk. It's not all like just nothing but pros. There are a couple of cons here too. Wow, a couple of shots from demolishers, and look at the damage. This is all stainless steel as well. Like this is like the most the hardiest material in the game because I was just testing the theories and not the actual structures. But like, that's an awful lot of damage. Demolishers are going to be the real deal when it gets to late game stage hordes. They're going to mess a lot of shit up. But I feel like that's a pretty successful test. I feel like that chute corridor is going to be the one that I'll probably use more than anything else. Just because they don't do much damage down the bottom, and it's still relatively easy to get your penetrator kills. Plus, early game stage with a bow, they're all in one line anyway. It doesn't really matter. You can line up your headshots with whatever bow you're using, or whatever you want to get out there with. And I mean, like, look, if you don't want to use a killing corridor, if you don't want to take advantage of whatever AI loopholes you can get, don't. I mean, no one's forcing you to make these things, so you can come in and be like, oh, this is ridiculous. Why would you ever want to use one? I find it fun to play like this. I find it fun to try and make it, you know, to outsmart the enemy. It's very rare that I'm the smartest man in the room, so whenever I get to be the smartest man in the apocalypse, I want to take that opportunity. But yeah, so I reckon it's a pretty successful little day of testing. There's some more things that I want to test in Tribunal Park 2, but I'll have to come back, put some more names up in the wall in the Hall of Legends. Actually, before I get away from that, people have been asking how you get on the wall in the Hall of Legends. I thought I made it clear at the start, but it's for Patreons. All my Patreons are called Legends, so there's the Hall of Legends. If you want to be in there, you've got to join up to Patreon. But yeah, I'll put some more names up on the wall over there and test some more stuff in the next episode, because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to all the patrons on Patreon who made this episode possible. If you liked it, make sure to like button down below and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter. If I don't talk to you there first, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.